Building a space where the bold come to play. Stream like a boss, this is your day. Stream like a boss, take the crown. Lift your hustle, don't back down. Build your crew, make it thrive. We go live, live, live.
So hey folks, it's Friday and I am playing. This is a playground. There's a couple of things I want to do though really quickly. The number one thing I want to do is to demo Sharon the Showrunner. I've had some people ask me questions about EZsite, which is something I talked with the founder about earlier this week. And one of the questions was around building your own apps, because some of you really appreciated the idea of pre-made apps and some of you want to know how to build your own apps. So since I had to play around inside of this app anyway and do some tweaking, I thought I'd show you the behind the scenes. So what I'm going to do really fast, because I do want to also secondly double check and make sure that my Substack folks who were not able to actually see us live the other day, that you see us live. Okay, it's working now. It was not working the other night. So anyway, I'm not going to be on here long, but I did want to create a demo that I can use on the actual website for Sharon the Showrunner. So I think what I'm going to do is to remove the Happy Holidays sticker, although I do wish you a happy holiday. Let's remove that because we want to make this a little bit more evergreen. I'm going to cut this up, this particular live stream up, and I'm going to make it available on the actual site for the demo. Hey, Coach Sean Michael. I know I was on earlier this week, but I ended up going on a different day than I normally do. That's one of the benefits, right, of being able to go live when people know you're going to be live. And I did not do that this week. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a run through of Sharon the Showrunner, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how I created this app. And I'm also going to show you how to use the app in case you are either one, a subscriber, or if you decide that you want to build something for your own business, not necessarily copying mine, right? But something for your own business that would be of benefit to your clients and customers using the EZsite platform. So what I'm going to do is I will pull up right now. I'm going to pull up a window separately, and this will have Sharon in the background, and I will answer any questions you have. If you've got questions about this or something else, I literally am on here just because I had a little time. I had a little time to do it. What's up, folks that are over on YouTube? I'm seeing some folks I haven't seen before, so I'm just going to say hello and welcome. Okay, so I'm pulling up, let's pull up Sharon the Showrunner, and then I will show you, I'm going to show you the front end first, and then we'll show you the back end. And if you do have questions about how we built this, let me know what your questions are, okay? Because that's specifically what I'm covering in this moment, given that I want to have a demo to put on the website. So I'm going to show you what I'm talking about right now. Let's pop it up. And we'll share screen. We should be in a couple of different verticals. So we're on Substack. We're also on YouTube. We might be on Facebook. I think I might be on Facebook as well. Okay, let's share this screen. And I'll show you what I'm covering. Okay, so Sharon the Showrunner is my own proprietary micro app. I built this using EZsite, and I'll give you kind of the behind the scenes to why I did so, what she's useful for. And then this may also give you, again, some ideas for your own creations, whatever it is that you want to make. Because the beauty of having EZsite is that you can use their platform to create pre-made or to work with pre-made templates that you tweak to become your own. But you can also design your own stuff if you have the do-it-yourself platform. Okay, so I gave you all 2 links the other night. And if you need those links again, let me know and I'll pop those out on the screen and I'll put them in the chat if I can. But here was the purpose. The reason why I created Sharon the Showrunner is because I had a constant question from a number of different clients that I've worked with over the last several years, asking about the idea of a run of show. As a matter of fact, if you watch my YouTube channel at all, you've seen that I've done probably several episodes talking about my method of creating a run of show. And it can get very particular depending on your niche and how you're trying to present yourself to people in your space. Now, I know not everybody is this structured. So let me go ahead and put that out there, that disclaimer out there. But if you're doing live streaming for business, which is what I teach and talk about, if you're doing it for a business purpose where you're helping potential clients to see you as the professional in the area of expertise where you play, then having a run of show or a structured way in which you're presenting information can be very critical. Okay. I know some of us love to get on and just go, right? And even now, I didn't plan this necessarily, but I knew that I would need to do this anyway, because you'll notice, let me show you something on this page. So Sharon the Showrunner, like I said, is a micro app that I created using EZsite. And I have watch demo right here, but I have yet to create the demo. So you and I are creating the demo together. And so that's why I want to give you a little bit of the behind the scenes as to why I'm doing this, why I created this particular app and how it works. Okay. That's the main goal of this particular stream tonight. And also just to say hi, because if you missed me earlier in the week, since we didn't do our normal Thursday, we went live on Wednesday, then I want to say hello and connect with you. Greetings to you as well, Dr. Vibe Show. I love it, love it, love it. It is. Run of show is so important for all the shows that I host and produce, right? So if you're trying to present information in a structured, logical manner, one of the best ways to do that is to be able to present it with a structured outline, if you will. So I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes. So I ended up creating this, Sharon the Run of Show, or the Showrunner, because initially what I was going to do is create a custom GPT. I think I have like maybe 150 or so custom GPTs, many of which I've created for unique purposes. But I thought this would be an easier way that people can actually leverage my process and the way that I think, my clients in particular, leverage that process and the way that I think so that they can easily just put in a few, type in a few keyboard characters, and then get a full run of show. I'm going to show you what I was doing before so that you can kind of get a feel of what this might look like. So I used a tool called 𝐻𝐶𝐻𝐿, and I won't get too deep in the weeds on this, but I want to give you an idea of why this is really kind of cool. Okay. So here's my 𝐻𝐶𝐻𝐿. Dang it. And I'm not logged in. Let me try to do that really fast. But 𝐻𝐶𝐻𝐿 is a way to outline. And I love outlines. I don't love writing out full blown scripts because then it looks a lot like you're reading, because typically you are if you have like a full out script. And what I wanted you to be able to do, and what I teach my clients to do, is instead to have an outline. So I want to I'm going to try to really quickly show you what this looked like previously and give you some of my, the backdrop behind how I created this. Let's see if we can do that really fast here. But it looks like I need to log in because I'm not logged in. And if I can't get logged in quickly, I'm just going to walk it through. In fact, that's what I'll do. So here's the deal. When I'm thinking through a run of show, I'm thinking about what's the intro going to be? What is the lead hook? Like, how am I letting people know about what the show is going to entail? I'm thinking about what the conversation, the main content will be, which typically for me is going to be somewhere around 3 to 5 key points. Okay. Usually I'll leave it at about 3 key points. And those 3 key message points, I break those down even further to say, okay, within each of these 3 message points, what's the main concept? So if they never ever paid attention to the other 2 points, they got one thing to take away, one actionable lesson or thing that they now know that maybe they didn't know before they watched my show. Okay. And then within each of those 3 key points, there's also something, their engagement prompts might be built into this run of show. And towards the end, you're going to have a specific call to action that you're seeding throughout the show, throughout the run, right? And then the very end will be, again, affirming that call to action. Of course, making sure people know how to watch, follow, and subscribe. You're going to be doing that throughout the show too, but you're going to really hammer that in at the end, and then the closing. And specifically, the intro and the outro, or the closing, are going to be, I'm going to think through, how do I create recognizable, I'm going to call them verbal logos. So for those of you who have watched me for any length of time, if you've watched me for any length of time on YouTube and on my live stream show called Stream Like a Boss, you'll know that I usually end this show with, I'll see you next time in the stream. And you know that one of the starting things that I will say, even though I didn't say it this time, but one of the starting things I'll say in my open is I'll ask people to identify themselves as either a hashtag newbie or a hashtag OG, right? And so then people get excited about being acknowledged and being part of the community. So I'm saying all that, and that's like a really quick hitter overview, a high level overview of how I do these, right? So what I've been teaching my clients is that process, and we've been breaking down and making it customized to their particular show based on their niche and who their audience is and how long it's going to be and all of that, right? But I decided I was going to create this custom GPT, which I did. Her name was Sharon. However, creating a micro app made it even nicer because it actually lays it out. So I'm going to show you what it can do, okay? And I see that there's some folks that have joined us over on Substack. So let me say hello over there. Hey, Substack folks, happy Friday and happy holidays to everybody. Yeah, Coach Sean, let me see your note. You're just thinking about, I know, hashtag OG. I didn't even ask this time, did I? I know I did you wrong. I'm sorry. Hashtag OG, hashtag newbie. If you're in the house, pop that into the chat. I love it. And it's good to see you as well, Virginia. Yes, another OG in the house. Look, my folks, my community, my family, you know what's up. You know this is how we roll, right? So that is because our run of show has been consistent in terms of the layout and the structure. And yours may not be exactly like mine, but there are going to be some elements and components, especially if you're using live stream for professional reasons. It's not just a hobby. I see Radiance by Ratilia in the house too. What's up? It's not just about that. It's also about recognition. It's brand recognition. When people hear or see certain things over and over and over again, you're training them to recognize your brand. So my community recognizes the brand. So let me give you the back end of Sharon the Showrunner. I'm going to pull her up a little bit bigger there. Okay. So I'll be over here on the bottom. What's up, Curtis Brooks? I see you. So what I ended up doing is I went into EZsite, and this was one of my very first from scratch where I built everything into it, like the features and the pricing and all of that. I used EZsite to build this, but I first came up with the concept, and then I came up with the prompt. So I'm going to log into Sharon so that you can see how she works, okay? And let's make sure, I think I can use that. So what happens when you actually use this, if you have a subscription to Sharon, is you click here to start a new episode. And if you have the free access, you get 2 episodes per month. And you can end up going to subscribe for other pricing levels, depending on the number of episodes you need each month, okay? Some of you are probably just going to need these 2 and that's it, right? But here's what you do. When you click on start new episode, and again, remember, I built this out using prompts and using EZsite.ai. And again, if you need that link, let me know because I'll showcase it for you. Here's what I ended up doing is, or here's what you can do with it. give me an episode idea. I don't know if somebody's in the chat right now and you have an episode idea that you want me to put in there, I'll do that. And if not, I'll just come up with something myself. Let's see. I'm going to come up with a health and wellness. Let me do this because this is top of mind for me. Let's say that you're a coach that works with women who are pre-diabetic. Okay. So your episode idea will be, Dr. Vibe Show just gave me another one. I'll use yours. How to reach the content goals in 2026. Okay. So episode concept, we'll go with that, Dr. Vibe. How, I'm going to say because I want to be as specific as possible, how service businesses can create and reach their content goals for 2026. How about that? Okay. And specifically, the goal I want to achieve with this episode might be educate viewers on how to set smart goals for their content strategy. Okay. And then down here on the target audience, again, I'm just going to reiterate that it is going to be service providers. And the call to action, let's say it will be download a resource. Okay. So maybe we have some type of PDF resource. It's a worksheet or something like that. And I'm going to get even more specific. Let's see. Download a checklist of 10 things. Nope. Download a checklist of here's what we'll do, of how to develop smart goals. How about that? Okay. So now we've got all that in there. And when you click on next step, this is what the micro app does. It's going to ask you, do you want a solo episode? Is it just for you? Is it going to be with a guest? Or are you going to have a panel with multiple people? And you're going to click on next step once you've chosen. In this case, I'm going to say solo episode. And I've designed this, I've given it instructions to where it will create a different run of show if you have guests. It's going to give you a different set of segments that you're going to put together into your run of show. Okay. But we're doing solo for simplicity. So then it asks you what your format is. And mind you, I created all of this with a very seriously thought out prompt using Claude and ChatGPT. I kept going through iterations, but now you don't even have to do that because Ray has built in a prompt builder into EZsite. Okay. So let's do video podcast. You can do audio only, or you can do a live stream. Actually, let's do live stream since I do live streams, huh? Okay. And then it's going to generate the planning package. And look, it literally took a few seconds to do that. So what it's doing based on what I've taught it to do, my own personal framework, is it's giving you opening and welcome, main topic introduction, deep dive content, key insights and analysis, actionable takeaways, and then call to action. These are the high level segments. It gives you a time-stamped outline. So this one, typically I'll do 40 minutes. Actually, I need to fix something here because it should be asking you, actually, I think it did it. It is assuming based on the type of episode you're creating, what the time frame will be. But what I think I need to build into this, I need to add a feature that allows you to choose the timing. But it's going off of what I've shared my framework to be. So cold open, context and preview, main content delivery. It's giving you exactly what I told you about before. It's giving you the structure. And then it's going to map out the detailed talking points. What's your core concept? How service businesses can create and reach their content goals. Why service providers need to know this. The key goals are to educate and influence them. We're going to share personal experiences. So it's giving you specific key points that you want to think about covering. It's also going to give you some suggestions for transitioning in between your different segments within your live stream in this case. Then it's going to give you promotional titles that you can use. So it's giving you ideas, how service businesses can create and reach, what you need to know, how some of this needs to be fixed, but The intent is for it to give you titles that can be effective for your show. Let's see. In this solo episode, we educate viewers on how to set SMART goals, how service businesses can create and reach their content goals, perfect for service providers. Drawing from real world, this episode cuts through the noise to deliver what really matters. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, you'll walk away with clear next steps and renewed motivation. Okay. Then it gives key takeaways, social media captions for each of the episodes, and also gives you engagement ideas for your opening hook, as well as the call to action based on what you put in there, and engagement questions. What challenges have you faced with how service businesses can create? Now that's weird. I'm going to fix that. But you get where I'm going with this. Like, I just used a very complex prompt, which it looks like I need to tweak, but a complex prompt that allows you to then just come up with an entire run of show so that you can, my clients in particular, can go through and use this app and have workflows that are ready to go for their episodes. It even gives them an equipment checklist, lighting setup, sound check, so they can create one of these for every single episode they're about to put on. And they can regenerate it if they didn't quite get what they wanted, as well as look for saved episodes. So these saved episodes will be right here according to the plan that they've purchased. The reason why I'm sharing this with you, and you're welcome, Dr. Vibe. Thank you for giving me the suggestion to use. The reason why I love showing you this is because this gives you an idea of what is possible when you're using vibe coding or you're creating micro apps, because Ray likes to call EZsite what does he call it? A micro app, an app factory, where you can create apps that you then sell and put out into the world. So I wanted to show you the back end of this. I will be doing some tweaking, and I'm going to show you the back end of this now. So this was how the dashboard itself is supposed to work. Here you can actually upgrade or downgrade. So if you were a true client and somebody who has access to the dashboard, it gives you this information here. There's an info where you can put your profile details in. Like I said, you can save your episodes and create new episodes. But let's show you the back end of what this looks like. Okay, so now you've seen this. What about how it looks in EZsite? So I'm going to go into my EZsite account, and I'm going to show you how cool this was. Okay, so I built a version 1 and a version 2. The reason for this is because when I built version 1, I really loved how she looked, but she wasn't giving me the output I wanted. And I still noticed a couple of things that I need to fix and tweak in terms of output, but I did not want to lose the way that it looked. I love the aesthetic of it. So what I did is I created it. I got everything lined up where I wanted it to be. And I'm going to show you my prompt up here. Let's go all the way to the top, please. Okay, there we go. So that you can kind of see the breakdown of this. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. And remember, this was not a pre-made app. His pre-made templates are way better. But I wanted to create something from scratch, so I'm showing you how this worked. So when I created it from scratch, again, so I wouldn't use up my tokens, at the time, I was using ChatGPT. And what I would do now, if you're using this, is I would go to EZsite, to the homepage. I would go to my projects, and I would go to Prompt Builder and do this, right? So right here, I would say, I want to develop a tool or a platform that my clients can use to create their own, I'm just going to say, the run of show for their video, podcast, live streams, or audio podcast. Okay. So I'm just going to put that in there. I'm going to say, get prompt. And now, because he's built this in here, it's going to make it easier to do everything inside of EZsite. But what I did while it's working through that, what I did is I actually went into, I think it was ChatGPT for this one. And I said, hey, I need to create a new web application called Sharon the Showrunner. I need to put together all the specifications for the project because I'm going to build this out in a platform called EZsite. And I gave it the details of what EZsite is. Did you lose me on Substack? Let me see. Am I lost? Okay, I'm double checking, Curtis, to make sure. All right. And so between either Claude, ChatGPT, or Manus is really great for this. By the way, Manus can create its own websites and applications, y'all. So just in case you didn't know that, it's awesome. But it doesn't give you all the full back end that something like an EZsite does. So what I did is I created this full out prompt and I told it all the things I wanted it to do. I gave it the core features. I told it what I wanted it to outline or to generate. And then I told it technical requirements. I told it how I wanted it to look. And so I got this look that I was showing you, right? I got the look that I wanted. But then what I ended up doing is I copied it because I thought, now I want to go in and tweak some of the functionality of this tool without removing the look because I don't want to lose the look. Think about it. When you're creating these type of tools, what can end up happening is you might end up redoing it or creating another version of it, and it has a whole different look because it's AI, and it's not going to always be precisely what you asked for. So I ended up using the second version of this, and you can do this when you're not doing a pre-made template. You'll be able to clone your own apps. You cannot clone the pre-made template. So let me make that clear. But I cloned my own applet, my own app, because I wanted to then keep the shell and fix the back end and play around with it to make sure that as I made different updates, it didn't mess with the aesthetics of it. And if I did mess it up, I could go make another clone of the first version, right, to keep that look. So I ended up creating the pricing table so that I would be able to put into the settings exactly what I wanted to include for pricing. I wanted to limit people based on their or according to their usage. And so I added some different, I added logic to it using chat. Let me see if I can give you some examples of where I did that. Yeah. So see how I did these short little prompts? Everything as I was going through it and I was trying to tweak it, what I'd say is, okay, I like this, but I need you to do this thing too. I need you to create, the number of episodes, but I need to make sure that people know how many they have. And that's how it was able to give me all the things that I wanted it to do. Because I just kept going through and making updates, little baby updates. Okay, let's go in here where I just use his prompt builder, and I want to show you how this works. So in the prompt builder, it says, hey, great idea. And it's giving me questions that I can then go and answer. Now, let me share something with you all that you may or may not know. This is a little cheat that I learned from Jonathan Mast and a couple of other people. And by cheat, what I mean is instead of you sitting there typing till your fingers get, rusty, what I'll do is speak into the app. Now, you could do this easily with certain platforms, LLMs like ChatGPT. But what if you're using something like this? If you're using, and I think I just got stuck. Yeah, I see what's happening. I'm getting stuck. Okay, I'm going to switch cameras. Let's see if we can. Yeah, I see what you were saying. You were saying that I was stuck. Okay, thank you. We're going to switch cameras real quick here over to another cam. Hopefully that will work. Okay, meanwhile, while that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and just pull this up full screen. and I'll work on this camera issue. Okay. Instead of you actually typing it in, what you can end up doing is you can say, hey, I'm just going to, ooh, this is just weird. Yeah. Yeah, all of my video is, so I don't know if this is StreamYard having this issue, which could be a problem. Yeah, it might be StreamYard because I have excellent internet. Okay. Hopefully you can still hear me. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove myself camera-wise. Let's see if we can do that. We'll remove the cam. Yeah, it's definitely got me stuck. You can hear me fine? Okay. So just ignore my image because something wonky is happening there. I'm going to make the screen bigger and I'm just going to focus on the screen. Okay. So hopefully you can still hear me. All right. So right here, what I would do if I were you is I would invest in a tool called WhisperFlow. Why? Because then what you can do is you can simply use a keyboard button on your, you can use a keyboard button that you assign as a microphone and you can speak the answers to these things. So when you start going through the questions, and what I probably would do is what I did the other night, I would copy this and I would go into a Google Doc because it's just easier for you to see these things, this information, right? And using WhisperFlow, which I think I have an affiliate link for, I'm going to check and see for you real fast. Yeah, I'm probably going to give up for now on the video, but let me show you what I have with WhisperFlow. It's very cool. And I may have an affiliate link. If I don't, that's okay. I'm just going to show it to you in a second. The reason why I like it is because you can literally just press a button and instead of you typing here, you can answer the question by speaking it. So I'm going to do this. You're not going to see my keyboard typing. Watch this. Who are your primary users? My primary users will be service businesses who are also creators that use video first. Okay. So notice how I just quickly put that in there simply because I am transcribing it with my voice. And so WhisperFlow has been a really cool tool in addition to all of the stuff that I do. I'm going to try to find you the link to this real quick here. Because you don't necessarily have to sit there typing. You can just speak it and it ends up going in as a text version of what you're saying. So let's see, Whisper. Okay, I got it. I pulled it up. I don't have an affiliate link ready to go, but I'm just going to share this with you. This is what I'm using. Don't type, just speak. Very cool. So if you haven't seen this, I think that, it is available for Mac, Windows, and iPhone. And so what I would do is I would go into Easy, go right here, not here, shoot, right there. I would copy these over into a doc, a Google Doc, and then I would go through and just use your WhisperFlow mic and just answer all these questions. And as you answer all these questions, you can then go back into EZsite. You can paste the answers to the questions, and then it's going to create the app for you. The other way you could do this is you could copy all of this. And if you saw my demo the other day, I went into Claude and I simply just went into what we call a marketing brain, an AI brain. And I just pasted all the questions here and I said, okay, give me answers to these questions based on what you know about me and my business. You could also use Notebook LM, which, by the way, I think I'm going to do a pajama party, but you could use Notebook LM the same way and paste that information. So you would just take these questions, and if you've already set up something, a tool that knows who you are and how you operate, which we call an AI brain, then that would give you the ability to quickly answer these questions, go back into EZsite, paste the prompt, and then it creates the app for you. This is what we did the other night by when we created this landing page. It was based solely on me copying and pasting the questions that the prompt builder asked me and then pasting it over to create a new site. So that's pretty cool. And that is similar to what I did to create Sharon the Showrunner. Although, again, Sharon's purpose was very complicated. And I am going to have to go in here and tweak to make sure that her responses come back with meaningful responses based on the way that the person is putting input in. But it has been just really such a nice idea that you now have these platforms that are available. I think that my video is working now. We're going to see. I think it's working. But it's great now that we have access to this stuff, y'all, because I think a year ago, it would have taken me a whole lot longer to try to create something like this. And while we could create custom GPTs that could do some of this, and other people who have a lot more software and developer skills could create this kind of stuff, you and I, average people, we didn't have this at our disposal. And so what I do love is the ability to be able to create these detailed prompts and then pair that with our AI brains and say, hey, help me create this, get this idea out of my head and create something really cool that I now then get to partner up with my own services and the experience that I have in the consulting and other things that I do. I can pair that up and make it an even more valuable asset to the people who want to work with me. That is pretty cool. So I'm checking to see if there's any questions. Hey, what's up, Hicks? Hicks is in the house. If I could, I would bring you on. I'm a little nervous about it because I just had my first little glitch with StreamYard. It's the first time I've used StreamYard this long. So I'm not sure what exactly happened, but I'll have to test that. I'll have to check that out. And I see I'm moving really slow right now. And I usually don't have that issue with Ecamm. And I don't have that issue necessarily with Restream, although, you know, we've had some issues there too. Okay. The last thing that I'll share, if I were to do a really super quick demo about Sharon the Showrunner, is simply to say that you can take an idea that you have for your business. In fact, if any of you have an idea for your business, like what would be a dream app that you could deliver to your clients if you could really master how to create it using something like EZsite? Just give me an idea, like what's an app that you think would be ideal for your clients to be able to use? What would it do? What could it do for people? And if you have an idea, pop it in either Substack or over here on my YouTube channel, and I'll see if I can kind of walk you through what that might look like using something like EZsite. So I'm watching to see if we get any. If we don't, then we don't have to do it. But if you have something and you want me to walk through it, I will. Okay, so again, whisper flow. I see that I'm still moving slow. Yeah, like molasses. How to manage your skincare for skin of color. Ooh, okay, so Radiance by Ratilia, what if we had an idea? Let's play with that a little bit. I'm just going to go into ChatGPT this time because we'll make it a temporary chat. Let's think about that. I see two ideas. Let me stick with Ratilia's first. So Ratilia, and if my video doesn't fix itself in a minute, I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller again here. In fact, I want to do that anyway because we're going to showcase the screen. Okay. So how to manage your skincare for skin of color. So let's think about what will we do. I'm going to ask ChatGPT if I wanted to, give me 10 ideas. In fact, I'm going to whisper flow it. How about that? Give me 10 ideas for a micro app that I could create that would be beneficial to women of color teaching them how to manage their skincare. Okay, let's see what happens. I'll say at home because I see your addition. Okay, let's just see what it tells us. Okay. Ew. Interesting. Okay. So melanin aware skin profile builder, hyperpigmentation tracker, at home routine builder. I think this would be this would be widely used. Like people would understand, hey, I want to do an at home routine. How do I do that? Ingredient decoder, post-inflammatory, another one that I think could be easily understood. Yeah. And fellas too, right? Do they have this in here for, okay, we didn't make it gender specific, Hicks. So good. I love it. Okay. Between services. Okay. So we can fix that. We're going to say, it does say many women. Okay. So let's say we don't want it to be, let me speak it, to be gender specific. And the other thing is we want to ensure that this tool will be useful in between salon services, because I know you have a salon and you still want to share your salon too. Okay. So let's see how it tweaks that. And we're going to come up with some ideas for a micro app. Okay. Between appointment skincare planner, post-service recovery guide. And if there's one that stands out to you, Ratelia, tell me which one. Radiance at Home Routine Builder. I know, right? That is cool. That would be doable. I like it. Skin barrier, hyperpigmentation prevention, service safe routine. You probably could go with the routine builder and call it, like you said, Radiance at Home Routine Builder. Let's see. It limits steps based on recent professional treatments, warns against combining actives too soon. I like this. Tell me if this is a fit for you, Ratelia. So if number 6 is the one, and here's a couple other ones. At home care timing assistant. Yeah, so there's a lot of ideas. Radiance at Home recovery guide. You like that one better? Okay, let's see. I'm trying to think of one that would appeal to a client who is doing salon services, because that could be me, Ratelia. So I'm just going to say that. And in between, you don't want us messing up stuff to make it harder for you when we come back to you, right? Let's go with, I want to do this one. I want to try number 6. Okay. So let's go with number 6. All right. Help me develop. Wait a minute. Let me use my voice. Help me develop a plan for building out the micro app, including the role, specific information that it would need to know to do in between treatments, and give me ideas for other information that this micro app would need to understand. Let's just see. And then the other thing we want is eventually we're going to want to add other stuff like colors, scheme, and that kind of thing. But let's just see what it gives us. And I didn't use a GPT for this, but we could use a GPT for this too. And this is how I would think through this process of creating this micro app. Let's see, a micro app that creates an at-home routine based on what treatment someone just had and what their skin can safely handle until the next appointment. Ah, beautiful. What it does, the user selects, or the pro provides, you could do this, the last service and date. It asks a few skin and goal questions, generates a safe maintenance routine. Okay. So you can have an intake plan with a lot of different routines that you build into it. Role-specific information, so you could tell it what kind of provider it should act as. Oh, yeah. I'm loving this. So this is the type of thing I would do without building this completely out, because it's going to take some time and it definitely would take up some tokens. But you get a feel for what we would do. We would go through this, Ratilia, and we would say, okay, I like this part, but I don't like this part. This is how I want it to act, and this is the role that I want it to play. And then you're going to continue to go through and give it specific information in regards to how you want this site to look, right? And then you're going to follow Ray's additional knowledge base instructions, which I don't have time to go through here, but he has other instructions to tell it how to price out and how to create a registration and sign up or sign in page for the micro app. And then you're going to connect it to Stripe or your preferred payment card, because it could be PayPal too. And then you're going to say, okay, let me test it with a few test subjects, get some people in here to test it out. And then you're going to publish it for public consumption. That's the process. That's how this would work. So yeah, that could be very cool. If anybody is looking for ideas for a micro app, ask ChatGPT or Claude. And I knew, based on some of the GPTs I had already created, I knew what I wanted to build out. So I didn't have to start with ideas, but I did need ideas about how to build it out. Like, what are some of the things that I would want to include? What are common questions that a person on the other end who's going to be using this thing would ask me? Those are the types of conversations that I have back and forth with the builder, right? And now you can actually use the EZsite prompt builder because he's got that in here and it's going to ask you those questions. I guess I'm not on the page anymore, but it's going to ask you those questions so that you know, there it is. As you answer this, because look, it's asking, what are the assets? Are there logos and other things you want? Do you want testimonials on these pages? Are there specific brand details? What voice do you want it to speak in? It's a lot like building out a custom GPT, but it ends up becoming an app that gives you a little bit more street cred because of the build. And there's my video again, cutting up. So I'm going to back on out of that. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with the I think it might be StreamYard. I'm going to have to keep testing this and see, because I don't have these issues on my normal streams, but we'll test it out. Don't forget to put my QR code again. Yes. Okay. Let me do that. Anyway, yeah, I came to do what I was going to do. And that was really to show you Sharon the Showrunner and to answer some questions and to do some demos. I think that what I will do is take what we've done tonight. I'm going to cut it up, and I may have to rebuild some of this into a quick 5-minute or less demo, because that's what I would want to put on the website. And by the way, let me show you how you do that. Okay. So if you're in EZsite, and let's say you've built out, like I did, my version 1.0, what I can do, I'm going to show you exactly how I would do this. So see where it says watch demo, and I don't have a demo yet, which is originally why I was here, because I had time and it's Friday night and I'm chilling. I would do something like this. I would say, hey, click over here on edit website in real time. And I would say, I would pick this and I would type in add a section, add a placeholder for me to insert a video under this section. And then I'm just going to click on enter, and it's going to work on fixing the app for me, and it should add a placeholder for me to add that video. Okay. And as far as the QR code, let me find that for you real quick. So the one that I'm really kind of telling people is going to be the best for most folks will be the EZsite done for you. But the one you've seen me demo tonight is the do it yourself. I'll give you both links, okay, so that you have them. And I have not done this yet. I haven't done QR codes yet using StreamYard. So let's see how this works. So done for you, EZsite. Here's that link. Let's pop it up and see what it looks like on screen in real time. There we go. Boom. So there's the done for you EZsite. And then there's codes, which I confirmed with Ray the other night that I need to be using and I wasn't giving people. So I want to give you these codes to make sure you get the best deal. Shh. So let me find these codes, because if you're getting it, you want the best deal. Here is, let's see if we can find the codes. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put, there's not going to be a really super easy way for me to do this, but I'm going to try to do it in a banner. We'll see if that will work, okay? Create a banner. All right. Let's see if that works for you. I don't know if it will or not. And I want to show that for, yeah, that's weird. I don't really like that. If you need the banners, I'll make sure I put the coupon codes underneath the description for this video, because that's too lengthy. I don't like the way that looks on here. But these are coupon codes depending on the tier that you decide to get, whether you get tier 5, tier 3 or 4, or tier 1 or 2. And I honestly think that those codes belong to the do-it-yourself version. Okay. Anyway, I'll make sure I post those afterwards, okay? Okay, let's look. Let's make sure that it added it. And sometimes it doesn't work. So I'm noticing it did not add it for me here. I wanted it to add it under this section right here. So what I'm going to have to do is to go back in and play with it. And what I probably would do is, let's see, instead of edit website in real time, I'm going to go right here and I'm going to say, let me go back, click on that. Because it says that the placeholder is ready, but it's not. You did not include the video placeholder. Nope, I'm not even going to say that. Make sure, let's do it even this way. Important. Add a video placeholder. Let me speak it out loud. Placeholder to include a YouTube video on this page underneath the everything you need to shine section. Let's see if that'll work. We just did it with a different instruction. And so you will, if you get a little frustrated with this, reach out to Ray's team, because that's what I've had to do at least just a few times, to say, hey, for some reason, it's just not picking it up. I need you to kind of take a look at this and see if your team can fix it for me. And they've done it. Yeah, if something does not produce the way that it should. The other thing you can do is you literally, if you know any HTML code, you can go in the back end and add the HTML code from scratch, which I have done that as well with some things, just to make sure it came out the way I wanted it to come out. So if you're not seeing it produce and it's taking up your tokens, reach out to their support team and they can help you to fix that. You know, while this is working, the last thing I'll show you is one of the pre-made templates, because I think we've done some stuff with pre-made templates as well, where I changed the branding so you can see how the branding is being changed. What I've done in here with some pre-made templates, StreamScribe was a pre-made template. Remember, this is important. You cannot clone. You can't clone, meaning you can't copy, duplicate, because that's their proprietary template, but you can edit and adapt their template to your taste. You just can't duplicate it and create another version of the same thing. It doesn't give you the ability to be able to do that. So what I did with the EZscribe that he had is I said, okay, I want this to have pink. I'm going to show you what it originally looked like. Let's find that EZsite link. here. Copy. Okay, so if you're going to this website, the one that I bought that you see right now on screen that I just showed you is called, I think it's called EZscribe. I'm trying to find it. Where is it? It's a transcription creator. Wonder if he's removed it. Okay, we just had a result because I just heard it. Hey, boom. Okay. So notice it shows Rick Astley. Never gonna give you up. Hey, what? But it added a space now for me to have a YouTube video. That's hilarious that it picked that one. But see, so the second time was the charm. It added that. Now, what I would do is I would then use, hold on, this button, edit website content in real time, and I would select this particular iframe video, and then I would come over here and say replace with X link, right? So whatever the link is that I actually want to use in YouTube, that's the one. That's the one that I would want it to be replaced with. So let me try that. Why is it not doing what I need it to do? Okay. I'll have to play with this some more because it's showing. Yeah, I'd have to play with this a little bit more. But what I'm going to do basically when I come back in here later on by myself is I'm going to play around with this and ensure that it pulls up this particular link or this video. We're not playing Rick Astley right now. And I'm going to ensure that it replaces it with my YouTube link. The other thing you could do is you can go into settings and you can upload assets. So you can add your video here and tell it, hey, replace the Rick Astley video with my video from the assets for this project. So a couple of different ways you can go about doing it, but it does take time, y'all. You can see how I'm having to tweak and fix a couple of things. So I'm not going to tell you it is easy. I'm just going to say it's way easier than if you did not have access to something like this. I was trying to find the original EZscribe so that you can see what that looks like. I know it's in here because I bought it. And what the EZscribe does is it creates transcripts from your videos and your audios. Maybe I need to do this. Yeah, and I don't see it right now, but I know they're adding and editing a lot of the different templates in here. So maybe he has made some adjustments and it's not showing right now. But I took one of his actual templates and created the one that you saw here, the Stream Scribe. And because he had already built it out, I didn't have to worry about messing with it other than to simply change the brand colors and the look of the thing. So it made it a lot easier. Anywho, okay. I think I'm tired now. And you're probably tired too. Let me see if you have any questions. Hopefully, 𝐓𝐇𝐈𝐒, giving you that walkthrough of how you want to think about creating a micro app. Hopefully that was helpful. If you were to do so using a custom GPT, that would probably be even easier because I do have GPTs that create different types of content. And so I probably need to build out one specifically for EZsite. I think that would be a useful one because that way, when you have your idea, after you ask it, hey, give me 10 ideas for micro apps that I can build in EZsite, it will give you the exact prompt, pretty much like what you would probably get if you were using the prompt builder, but maybe a little quicker. Because with the prompt builder, you're going to have to answer all the questions that it's asking here. And if I were just in ChatGPT, I probably could just, again, tie that back to my brand documents. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about when I say an AI brain, it literally is just a project file that you have trained on your stuff. Like it knows how I think, how I talk. It has my brand, voice, and visual guide. There's some other details to this, but it is really fun to create I've found 100 different ways that you can create them. And so I have one in just about every LLM I use. I have one in Claude. I have one in ChatGPT. I have one in Notebook LM. And one thing I will share with you all before I leave here is this, and that is what I plan on doing probably either the 29th or the 30th before the new year is I'm thinking about doing a pajama party where we just talk about Notebook LM, and members of Stream Bosses Academy will get in for free. But if you're a non-member, it's only $10. And we're just going to play with Notebook LM because Notebook LM has been doing the most. There's so much that you can create with this thing. In fact, let me show you something that's related to what we've been talking about tonight. It's an EZsite guide. It's an infographic that I created using Notebook LM specifically for EZsite. Let me show you what this looks like. It's so nuts. It's crazy that it can do this kind of stuff, y'all. But check this out. So I created this just from the video. I didn't mean to do it that big, but just from the video that we did the other night with Ray, I said, hey, make it simple for people to understand what we talked about, the difference between the do-it-yourself version versus EZsite as a solution. And it created this for me. And typically it's not going to give you these diverse characters. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I always tell my apps, give me diversity. Give me Black women characters using my brand colors. That's almost always in all the language that I put into all of my different tools. Yes, Sharon. So if you want to hang out, I'll be putting something out there probably this weekend. And you will be able, I know, right? It's so cool. But we're going to do a prompt. It's going to be called PJs and Prompts. PJs and Prompts. And we're going to do a pajama party. Now, it cannot be super sexy pajamas because we're keeping it clean and simple. But we're going to do a live stream, or maybe we'll just do like a StreamYard party or a Google Meet party. I haven't decided yet. But it'll be $10. And if you want to get in, we're either doing it on the 29th or the 30th. And we're just going to play with some Notebook LM prompts. We're going to come up with prompts that are going to be useful for you, for your business. And we're going to play. It's a playground. So not heavy lecturing, although I will share and answer questions based on what you have. Yes, I had to put the disclaimer in there because some people, Sharon, what I want to say. But yeah, we're going to say classy pajamas. So pajama party. If you want to come to the pajama party, the PJs and Prompts, let me know. And we'll get something set up so you can hang out. And we'll work through all things Notebook LM for like an hour or so, because it's right between Christmas and New Year's. So nobody's trying to like spend all their time on a live stream or a workshop with me. I know this, but it'll be fun. Yes, Google Meet, because Raytalia has been in some of our classes, and it is the most fun because we get to do the reactions and all the other stuff, right? It's really cool to use Google Meet. So that would be fun. If you're interested, feel free to DM me so I can make sure I have you on my list. But I'll also send out an email to my general list about it, because I'm going to take probably a maximum of like 30 to 40 people at the most, so that we can have fun and it won't be overwhelming and everybody can get their questions answered. But we're just going to play with Notebook LM. So if you want to come hang out, come hang out. Okay. That's all I got. I will shut this thing down and go relax a little bit. But thank you for hanging out for my not really TED Talk, but my test of StreamYard, and to learn a little bit more about micro apps. I'm checking on my Substack people real quick because I know we went in and out over there. Yeah. Okay, Curtis, you had to go out and come back in. It wasn't just you, though. It was definitely, my video was acting up, and I had to switch cameras from my DSLR to my Tiny 2 which I'm using now. So something was up. Okay, folks, thanks for hanging out. And if you're coming to the pajama party, that's probably going to be the next time that I'm actually on live, at least from a workshop standpoint. But otherwise, I will see many of you in the new year. So take care, be safe, and we will see you next time. What do we say? Next time in the stream. All right.